Today we're going to work on my 97 Ford pickup truck. We're going to start to replace the fuel system and the gas tank because that's leaking, as we all know now. We're going to get as much of the fuel system today as we can. First thing to do is I'm going to get the fuel tank out, and then I'm going to start kind of running fuel line. I have this just steel line that I'm going to use. I was going to just use fuel hose like I talked about in the last video, but I decided not to because of the price of it. Plus, it's a daily driver, so I prefer the longevity of steel line in comparison to hose. I picked up the gas tank at JC Whitney, or actually it's a JC Whitney gas tank I picked up at carparts.com. Came with straps and some of the gasket stuff that goes, or not the gasket, it's a rubber O-ring thing that fits over the top. Came with came with straps and then the other rubber O-ring thing that fits over the top for where the fuel pump fits in. I picked up injector O-rings, so I'm going to pull the fuel rail off when we do the fuel lines, or at least when we hook up the new fuel lines, so it's easier. And you know what? Truthfully, I have no clue the last time the injectors were taken out of there and when the O-rings were done. So I'm just going to replace the O-rings. I should have maybe bought the kit where it has everything where you can put different parts in for the injectors, whatever their parts are called. I don't know. I think they call it a rebuild kit of some kind, but I didn't do that because it was kind of last minute. I decided to remove the fuel rail. So we're going to start working on this. Thanks for joining us. I hope you enjoy. All right. So right there is the fuel lines. I may try and run this in a different way so that I can use or not remove the old. After you remove the old fuel lines, just put new ones up through there. We'll see what happens. It's gonna be kind of a pain. But I just wanted to show they're kind of underneath the firewall. You see how that dips in underneath the firewall? Makes it very fun for doing the rear spark plugs on both sides. Well, actually, that side's a little bit worse. But another thing I was going to show you was this stupid repair I tried to do. Okay, this is take 4. This is how I tried to fix this. You can see I used a wire wheel. I kind of show up here too. See how it's kind of. Oh, maybe you can't see that. I don't know. There's not enough light. The wire wheeled in there. That's kind of the area that looked like it was seeping out of the side of the tank. Still leaking out of there. And this is even like 2 weeks ago we did this, and it's just not sealing up. That's fine. You can see how it's running across the bottom. Tank just needs to be replaced. There's these areas. Look at the just this. Doesn't look good anywhere. Straps are in pretty good condition. I've replaced them before. The bolts don't look like they're going to be too hard to get out. Hopefully they'll be too bad. Look at these cross members for the bed, though. They're just shot. We may have to pull the bed off here and put like a flatbed on it, with wooden flatbed or something like that. Good news on this whole operation. I don't have to do anything but replace that fuel filter that's rustier than I've ever seen a fuel filter get. These fuel lines are like brand new, all the way to the front of the vehicle, if you can see it up there. So somebody has replaced these already before I got it. Um, we did. You can see that brake line kind of hanging up there. We replaced that. Um, there's another brake line just below it where you can see one cut off and goes to the one. There's a connector in there. That's the old brake line. The new one runs right below it and just straight up to the front of the vehicle. Um, but that means we don't have to mess with the fuel rail or any of that stuff. I can turn a bunch of parts. This will be kind of cool. All right, we're gonna get to it. All right. I'm really wondering whether these are gonna come out of there or not. They don't look very good, do they? What happens here? Oh, that one's bigger. Oh. Huh. Well, there's some metal up there. Hey, is that better? That is better, isn't it? That was a 9. I wonder. There we go. Huh. Doesn't like any of that. So, like I said, that went well, right? That was gonna go well. Just completely broke them off because couldn't get them to turn. This, you know, mechanic's favorite tool. Uh, but they just, I tried to turn. They're just so corroded. Oh no, it's not focusing right. There you go. That is horrible. So those got to be replaced. So, got it partially down. Just now the next part is to get those hoses to let go. So I'm gonna take the part up here to try and get it to pull out of there. See how that goes. So now I'm going to get that all undone. Like the wires are undone up there. I might have enough to get it to the ground. So I gotta get those out of there. Fix it. Undoes those, so do our best to get those out. I need to get that thing. I have not able to get those hoses off the back yet. So I'm trying to undo this so that I don't mess up these lines jerking around on everything. So uh, hopefully we can get this out of here without wrecking something. Alright, well, I got this tank out. I started taking the valves out. I got this valve. It's like a pressure valve or whatever, vent valve, whatever it is. I got another one over here I gotta get out yet. This here, if you read this, it says push down and push. Remove that way. Install that way, right? So you turn either this way to remove or that way to install. It didn't like it. I don't know what it is. It is some kind of, it's some kind of sensor that reads vapor or something, or pressure in the tank, or I'm gonna have to look and see what this is. I couldn't get this to come loose, so I just said, oh, I'll cut it, and then we can just pull it out here. I may be stuck for the night if I can't find this part. So there's that. Anyway, we're gonna keep going. I gotta vacuum this off, get that out of there. This all seems to be okay. Hey, look, that's a big hole. See that? Holy moly! That was an unintended pun. I'm just saying. So there's a nice big hole. Anyway, I'm gonna keep going. See what happens. So I got both tanks out here next to each other, and the first thing I noticed is that lip is curved down, whereas over here it's curved up. It goes, does that on the back side over here too. But on this one, nowhere are there curved or edges curved up. They're all curved down. So good for whoever fixed that problem. They must have realized eventually, which they should have realized to begin with, that was going to be an issue. But we're going to keep working here. I'm going to pull this apart, get all these parts out over here as we go. I'm going to try and get that, which is that, moved over and then super glue it together, I guess. But yeah, that's what's going on. All right, one final update for this evening before I go to bed, or not go to bed, but have a few adult beverages. That I could not get out. I tried my best. It just ended up breaking, so I'm gonna have to get a new one. New one is about $100 if I order it online, 20% off. So, you know, I'm not exactly sure what I'm gonna do. This is what it is. I think I can get one tomorrow at the store. It's convenient that I work at a Napa store. That the internet seemed to say that we had one on hand in our store, but hopefully it's there. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Just didn't realize or even know that that sensor was there to even look for it to make sure that I had one on hand. My bad. But I could return a bunch of parts, so should have almost enough money out of just whatever I return to to buy the part, you know. So that's good news, I guess. But I'm gonna go in and or go up front and sit by my wife, and I don't know, we might have a fire tonight, something. But relax for a little while and then get back to it. Well, after 10 o'clock tomorrow when the store opens, I guess. So we'll see you tomorrow. All right, so I went off this morning to Napa where I work, and I got a new fuel tank pressure sensor. So the only thing left with that is I got to get the connector off of the old one. I don't know if I showed last night. This is where it broke. It's 27-year-old plastic or somewhere there about 26. So, you know, it's gonna do that, I think. Still couldn't get the thing off, so we're gonna work on that this morning. Hopefully, I don't have to buy a new connector because I priced out the connector just to try and see replace it all. The connector itself at Napa, where I work, is $40, so I'm not gonna do that. Well, the other thing I'm going to do this morning is I'm going to clean these up. I should have done it last night. Didn't think about it till this morning when I started remembering that I needed hose clamps, right? I'm going to clean these up. These are just strap protectors or protecting the tank from the strap from digging in too much. There's a little plastic and clean it up a little bit. I should have replaced these. Let me show you. That's all it takes to get the color onto your skin. So absolutely horrible hoses. They should have been replaced. Both of them are very weather cracked. Other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try and look for something to cover right here and here where the tank sits up against the bottom of the truck. The original tank has something there, and I know we can't get it off there to put it on, or maybe I'll try and do that. I got some tires on the back. I might use some of that to go on there. But we're pretty close. I could have done some of this last night and chose not to. That's okay. Anyway, hopefully this won't be too bad. I don't know how anybody else does this, but I always, when I crimp these, yeah, I use the one that's color coded. Use the blue one first, and then I actually drop it down a size and crimp it a little bit with that to make sure it really gets in there. Alright, now I'm going to go put it on a vehicle. Pretty much the same thing. I'm going to wrap each one individually with tape and then probably go around the whole thing a bit. A little bit better. I might try and find some larger plastic covering. I know I have some around here somewhere. So, and throw that over the top of it too, just to make sure that it's all covered by a piece of plastic up underneath there. I mean, being that it's all the way on top of the tank, hopefully there won't be too much corrosion. I mean, this plug sit up in there for 30 years and I don't see any corrosion in there. So, and obviously, you know, maybe I should put some dielectric grease on there, but I forgot to do that when I was in Napa, and now I don't have a vehicle to drive because my wife and son just took off in my car. So, anyway, hopefully this will work and it won't be too bad. We'll see in a little while. I'm going to get this done. I sprayed it down with the Rust-Oleum Rust Reformer. Stuff seems to work. It's got to be better than not doing anything, right? Got the straps ready to go. Got that on there. So the connector's all reconnected, hoping that everything works there good. Tank in. We actually ran out of storage for video, so the video stops in the middle. I just realized it now, but I got it going. I got the tank in. Um, we're gonna go run down and get get a little bit of gas. Make sure it's running okay, not leaking or anything like that. And then we'll show you when we get back. Okay, see you later. Well, we're emptying out the last of the gas in the full tank. There wasn't really very much left. I gotta squish it around once in a while. Just in position to get it to go to the one hole I put in the front just to make it easy. Got it in there. Yes, those are the old straps. This thing's about half full right now, which is more full than it's been in like 4 years. So my wife's happy. I shouldn't say half full, it's a little under half. You know, with today's gas prices, we didn't put in a lot just because she wanted to make sure it wasn't going to leak, and I kind of thought it was a good idea. That way I knew whether the old hoses that I used for the filler tubes was going to leak or not. Eventually I'm going to have to change those, but I'm not, that's not so bad. We got to loosen it up, let it down. I don't think that's such a big deal. It'll be doable totally in the future. I'm going to keep emptying this gas tank so that I can get the gas tank to the salvage yard probably tomorrow or Tuesday. And actually, I'm going to start working on that again. Got some saw blades come in, so I'm going to try using those for my cutting my cross member for the transmission, and see how that works. And I want to test it on this piece we've got down there already. So, hopefully it'll go well. And I'm also going to start cleaning up the rust on the front end here and doing the same thing I did to the fill tube on the pickup truck, and just spray the Rust-Oleum rust reformer, whatever they call it, eliminator. I think eventually this car, the body's in really good shape, but the frame is going to have to be replaced, or the body's going to have to be set down on another frame. Something's going to have to happen, because it just is what it is. It's a 30-year-old Minnesota car. But so I'm not, too worried about things. When that comes to pass, it might be a little bit easier to set stuff down in, and fit the body to what we're setting it down on. I mean, I don't know what we're going to do at that point. It might be just another Crown Victoria frame, or maybe we have somebody build us a tube chassis to just slide underneath here, and then the roll cage too, and cut the floor out and everything like that. And kind of make it a full-fledged race car, put an 8-second cage in it or something like that. Anyway, yeah, that's about it. So I am gonna go back to doing what I was doing, and then I'll start working on this, and hopefully there'll be another video on that next week. But thanks for joining me and watching me talk too much and not do enough. Anyway, thanks for joining me. See you next time.